Fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight. You're in for one crazy ride tonight on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show. Hashtag one on Facebook. Fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight. You're in for one incredibly awesome and amazing ride today on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show. Hashtag one on YouTube. Today we have with us mini stock driver Tammy Watson. Welcome to the show, Tammy.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you? So Tammy,
I'm fantastic.
Let's talk about your racing career. Where did it all start for you?
Smethport, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful track out there. It all started because my husband and I built my son a race car when he was 12, I want to say, maybe 13. And the little turd got himself grounded out of it for not keeping his grades up. So instead of letting the car sit, my husband said, I want to see what you can do. And he threw me in it, and it's been an addiction ever since.
Oh boy. So were you a little bit nervous when you climbed behind the wheel of the race car for the first time?
Terrified.
Terrified.
And that's an understatement.
That's an understatement. Okay. So when it comes to when you first started out, did it take you a little while to come up to speed as far as on the racetrack and actually go full throttle around the racetrack?
I think a turtle could have ran faster.
Okay. Okay. So Tammy, now that you started your racing career, have you progressed quite a bit since the beginning?
It's phenomenal. I went from getting lapped and wiping myself out after the race was over, after the checkered flag flew, to I have over 30 top 5 finishes. I have 7 wins. Amazing car. I have an amazing crew. I have amazing sponsors behind me, backing me 100% of the way. And my fans, people walk up to, I can't go to Walmart and go shopping for groceries without somebody walking up to me. Hey, you're Tammy Watson. Yeah, hi. No idea who you are, but you know me.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So Tammy, so it's pretty cool that you've had that much success in your racing career. And Tammy, who do you have on your racing crew?
My husband, Joe
Okay.
Watson, my stepson, Joel.
Okay.
His girlfriend, Michelle Ishman.
Okay.
My son, Chance Palmer. My stepdaughter and her fiance, Tasha Watson and Greg Babcock. They come and support me a lot. They're still learning. They're Tasha, not so much new to the whole racing scene because my husband used to race when she was growing up, but they're still learning the ins and outs. Like, I get so much time in between races to fix a car, and I catch myself quite often. I need this, I need that, and I forget that they don't quite know yet. But my stepson, he's right there with tools and stuff, fixing the car before I even get a chance to tell him what I need.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty spectacular that he
It
can.
is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very seldom do I have downtime. Like, very seldom is the car to the point where I don't make a race.
Okay. That is really cool that you're able to get to the races quite often. So Tammy,
My husband pushes me sometimes faster and further on racing than I want to go, but I'm glad that he does.
okay. So
It just improves me that much more.
okay. So Tammy, going into the 2022 season, what are you looking forward to accomplishing?
I want to be at least in the top 5 for points this year. Last year I held on to it pretty good, but had a few gremlins half season and missed a few races due to them, and dropped from 5th in points back to 12th, moved myself back up to 7th, dropped again because I had a bad accident at State Line Speedway, one of the tracks that I race at, and ended up having to miss my local tracks night of racing, which ended up ultimately finishing me, I believe, 12th or 13th in points for the season.
Wow. So Tammy, talking about your local tracks, what is your local tracks that you race?
I race Quite a few, actually. One of the main tracks is literally only 5 minutes away from my house. It's Bradford Speedway, and
Okay.
it's actually called the Battle of the Bull Ring. It is a tiny little track that's mainly where once I raced at Smethport, I had a bad accident there that took me out of the car for the first half of the season, and my husband really wasn't accepting the fact that I didn't want to get back into it. He ended up buying another car. I have three of them, actually, a parts car and two race cars, but he bought me the original car that he keeps trying to get me to sell, and I just can't. I can't
Yeah.
bring it in me. It's got
Yeah.
sentimental value.
Oh yeah.
And I started that one, and that's where it all really began. Is once I got used to being behind the wheel of the car and got comfortable, he saw a spark in me that he didn't think that he would ever get a chance to see, especially in a female racer.
Oh yeah.
And he just kept building my car stronger and stronger and stronger. And then ultimately we ended up building another one from last year. But I run Bradford, I run State Line, I ran Smethport last year, but due to the lack of clay on the surface of that track, they had to postpone their season this year.
Okay.
I run Freedom Motorsports Park. And at least once a year, we try to go down to the West Virginia, Pennsylvania border to a cute
Okay.
little track called Roaring Knob.
Okay.
I love it down there. I mean, one of the few tracks that do open their arms to a female driver.
Okay. Okay. So out of all those racetracks that you raced, Tammy, what is your favorite racetrack?
Honest, it's a toss up between State Line and Bradford.
Okay. Alrighty.
I wasn't going to run Bradford this year. I wanted to stretch out and travel a little bit,
Yeah.
but I found myself sitting in the pits at Bradford last night until the rain rained it out.
Yeah. So Tammy, when it comes to your racing, do you prefer a dry slick track or a wet heavy track for
I
your race
prefer
car?
a I prefer a dry blacked over track.
Okay. All right.
I get that. I get that at State Line because they run the supers, they run the lates, they run uh open modifieds. And by the time they get, because I have a small tire car,
Oh
so
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
can't,
yeah.
I'll run my class will run up the track. So they run the big cars before they run my class. By the time they get to my class, the track is just so smoothed over and blacked over and slick from all the rubber that I just take right off.
Okay. Tammy, so when it comes to your race car and your racing career, who do you have for sponsors on your racing car?
It has grown over the years, let me tell you. I have the local parts store that has been in business for years for racing, Closest Racing Supply. I have my husband, Watson Trucking. He's my biggest supporter. I have McDonald Power Sports, Power something. I can't even, Power Inc. Sorry.
Okay,
Power Inc.
okay.
He's a truck driver buddy of my husband's, just follows me on Facebook all the time. I have Farmers Valley Inn of Smethport, Pennsylvania. I have McKinney Auto Detailing out of Mount Jewett, Pennsylvania. I know I'm forgetting some, and without the car sitting right here,
Yeah, that's all right.
it's
That's all right.
putting me on the spot as part.
So are you still looking for sponsors for your race car?
I can always, DJ Jimmy is another one. I can
Okay.
always make room for more sponsors.
So if there's anybody out here going to be watching this racing show with me and Miss Tammy Watson, and you'd like to help her out with her racing career, reach out to herself, Tammy, or you can reach out to Joe, her husband, because they'd appreciate the sponsorship on Tammy's race car as she gets further into her racing career.
I
So
won't let you down, I promise.
So Tammy, let's talk about the story behind your race car number. Where did that come from now?
I wanted to run my volleyball number in high school, number 15. And when my husband purchased the first car that I have, the first Saturn Ion, when he purchased that 4 years ago, we got it from David and Judy Lau out of Eldred, PA, and his number was number 2. And they're just such sweethearts. And I asked him if I could run his number, and he told me he'd be honored if I did. So it's just always been number 2. I was going to switch it to number 15 this year, and when it came time to get the car lettered, I kept it number 2. I just couldn't break away from the number 2.
Number 2 is a very good number. It was very successful in NASCAR, and oh yeah, it's pretty successful in IndyCar even.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So Tammy, where do you see yourself in 5 years with your racing career now?
Honestly, I'm not sure, because over the winter, my husband and I discussed going pavement, and at the last minute, I ripped the windshield out of it and put the chicken wire back in. And
Okay.
I've discussed with him doing some drag racing, and
Oh, there you go.
it's again back to dirt.
Okay.
I honestly don't know where life is going to take me. I hope in 5 years I'm still able to get in and out of the car and run, but life
Yeah.
has its own choices.
So Tammy, do you have anything like for 10 years? Where do you kind of want to see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I'll be 51 years old, and I'm hoping that I can still walk.
Okay. So Tammy, now, okay, when it comes to your racing career, who is your racing hero? The driver that you look up to and say, man, I want to be just like that.
Theoretically, my husband would want me to say him,
Yeah.
but I have, since I started racing, and I made this joke. Out here, we have a local driver. His name is Jeremy Wonderling.
Okay.
And I made a joke a few years back where I said, I want to be a household name like Jeremy Wonderling. He's one of the best in this area.
Okay.
I mean, I
Okay.
just enjoy watching him race.
Okay.
He ran against my dad a few years back in his 604 crate late.
Okay.
I know he's just, I don't even know. When I watch him, it's just amazing. Like, he is so smooth in and out and almost untouchable. Like,
Wow. So Tammy, do you have a racing nickname that people
a few names that I can't say.
okay.
My husband calls me Hot Rod Mama.
Okay.
I don't know, like, I've heard some few choice words. I've got people that absolutely love me, and I've got people that absolutely would rather see me hit the wall and not finish than.
And the thing is a lot of drivers have that in their racing career. Some people like them, some people don't. It goes with the career.
I've noticed that the harder charging I've gotten, the more aggressive I've gotten. And I'm not saying aggressive in a bad way, where if you're in my way, I'm going to stuff you. I don't do that. I
okay.
don't want it done to me. I don't do it to other people.
Okay.
But the more aggressive, the more hard charging I have gotten, I have found out that probably 60 to 70% of the grandstands are cheering me on, and 30, 40 of them want to see me go home on a tow truck.
Okay.
The longer and more aggressive and more winning I'm getting, the more I'm finding out that I'm gaining a hate base too.
Oh, okay. And right now, what's really nice is you have a lot more people that are liking you as a race car driver than they are disliking you. So that's, yeah.
And I try, and I've noticed that a lot of my fans are children, young kids, the future of racing.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
My husband gives me a hard time when I get ready to letter up my car, because I put a little character on the hood of it every year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The first year I had Harley Quinn. Second year I had, what was it? The Joker. This year I put Pennywise on my car.
Okay.
And I've noticed that I just have little children all over the place, just crawling all over my car for autograph night, crawling all over my car at the mall show.
Wow, that's pretty
This year,
cool.
when I put Pennywise on it, I honestly thought that it would scare them. But kids nowadays are just relentless. They're ruthless. They just loved that car. That was their favorite car out of everything
Wow.
I've done so
Wow.
far.
Wow.
That scary clown has been the
Yeah.
favorite so far.
Oh yeah. Wow.
You would
Wow.
think otherwise, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I blame the COVID babies.
Okay. So Tammy, when you're getting strapped into your race car to go out and take the track for heat, feature, hot laps, what helps get you psyched up and motivated to go out on that racetrack?
My husband, he straps me in all the time. Not that I can't do it on my own, but with some of the safety devices that we have to wear, it makes it difficult to get strapped in. So my husband straps me in. And while he's strapping me in, he tells me, get my head in the game, stay focused. If I see a hole shot, take it. And one of his favorite lines is, give it back if they give it to you.
Okay. Okay.
I used to cower down when they gave it to me, and I'd come off with a whole bunch of broken parts and pieces and spending weeks rebuilding.
Okay.
And when I started giving it back, they started leaving me alone.
Okay. So when you're strapped in your car too, Tammy, in order to take the track, do you have like a few moments to yourself where you're just like, I need some quiet time to kind of get myself in the game?
My family and crew know that when I'm in the lineup chute to leave me alone.
Okay.
I connect with the car. It's weird. It's weird to say that unless you've actually physically been in a race car. You have to bond with that car.
Okay.
You and that car have to be one.
Yes.
I pray.
Yes.
I spend most of the time in the lineup chute praying that I come out safe, unscathed. My fellow race car drivers come out safe and unscathed. This is pure entertainment for the people in the grandstands, but they don't fully understand the danger and stuff that we put our lives in jeopardy for just to give them a good show. And I just don't want to be a statistic. I don't want my friends to be a statistic, but I just want them to be safe. I want us to have a good show. I want to put on a good show for the fans. And I ask God to let that happen.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Tammy, in your racing career, I would love to see you run the Indy 500 because that would be a huge accomplishment for you.
I think it would just be a huge accomplishment for females.
Oh, yes. Could you imagine, though, going 240 miles an hour around that track?
I about had a heart attack when I found out I was doing about 70 on dirt.
Yeah.
Second gear in a 4-cylinder. That's unheard of.
Yeah. And yesterday they were for qualifying, the last day of qualifying, they were averaging 234 around there, which is like the fastest in qualifying in history.
I would imagine that I would have to have an adult diaper to handle that.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's, racing is a huge family. And that's what I've been told. You get in with the racing drivers and their crews. It's a huge deal to be a part of that.
You get in with the right ones, ones you've got. And it goes both ways. It's just like the racing family is just like your own blood family. You've got good ones. You've got bad ones.
Oh yeah.
And you get in with the right people. They got your back. I scratch your back. You scratch mine sort of thing. But then you've got other drivers out there that would just as soon put you in the infield and finish his race and move on than to make friends.
Yeah, exactly. So Tammy, when you're at the racetrack and you're getting hungry, what's your favorite thing to eat at the racetrack?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't eat on race day.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
I hear that from a few race critters that they don't eat on race day.
No.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I pound a lot of water. I pound a lot of Powerade, but as far as eating on race day, I tried that once and it didn't work in my favor.
Okay. So Tammy, what is your favorite home cooked meal then?
My favorite home cooked meal would have to be stuffed shells with chicken and stuffing in them.
Oh, that sounds really good. Really good.
It's
I'll have to
amazing.
I'll have to have you send me that recipe because that sounds
I
really good.
absolutely will.
Yes.
And I started making that for my family, and they ask for it quite often.
Okay. So Tammy, then okay, when you want to go out to eat for a good meal to a restaurant, what's your favorite restaurant to eat at?
Applebee's.
I give you that. That is a very good restaurant. Very, very good restaurant.
We frequently visit Applebee's a lot.
Okay. So Tammy, what do you like to do away from the racetrack?
Work on my race car.
Work on your race car. Okay, okay.
Uh, I do a lot outside
Okay.
of the racetrack. I mean, if I'm not working on the race car, I'm mowing my properties. I hang out with my friends, spend as much time with my husband as I can. I mean, he's a
Okay.
truck driver, so I
Oh yeah.
don't get him home very often.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
When my 17-year-old child and thinks it's cool enough to hang out with mom, I hang out with him. I go fishing.
Okay.
I love hunting.
Oh, yes.
I'm not a typical female.
Okay, okay, okay. So, Tammy, let's talk now about what's some of the worst things you've had happen to you in your racing career.
Don't like to talk about it, but I was racing first time ever in the car back at
Okay,
Smithport. It was when we grounded my son out of his car. I owed him a race car after that because it kind of destroyed it. I was racing the Fall Classic, and it was about, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning. The feature was halfway over. I got spun out,
okay,
and when I got spun out, the car stalled. And this wasn't when
okay,
I was in an automatic, a
yeah,
2003 Chevy Cavalier. It was an
okay,
automatic.
okay, okay.
The car had stalled, and I was trying to get the car started, not thinking that I had to bump it back up into neutral or at least park to get it started.
Yeah.
I looked up, and there was another younger driver that hit me head on,
Oh,
folded the car open like it was a sardine can.
oh,
I took a little bit of a nap. It broke my helmet.
oh,
It hurt my knees.
oh.
I was stuck in the car. They had to cut me out of the car. It took them about 2 hours to cut me out of the car.
Wow.
From the knees down to the top of my feet for about 3 months were just nothing but bruises and covered in black and blue marks.
Wow.
And that
Wow.
happened about 5-6 years ago. And I still feel the pain to this day. But
Wow.
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know, you
True.
just
True.
fall off that horse and get right back up
Oh,
on.
yeah. Yeah.
Took me about halfway through the next season to actually get back into a car, but I did it.
Okay. So Tammy, do you have any other crazy stories you'd like to share with us from your race weekends?
Oh, last year I took out 90% of the field in an accident at State Line.
Wow.
I got popped like a popcorn kernel straight up in the air. Another car come landed down on top of me and
Oh.
took out the rest of the cars behind us. And I just never lifted. I kept the pedal to the metal, pulled through the infield, come back out on the track in second place, and had to pull off. And that was the end of my night because I ran over debris and got a flat tire.
Wow.
I
Wow.
survived all that, and a flat tire takes me out.
Wow. 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 So when you're getting ready to go out for your feature, getting prepared to go out for your feature, and there's stuff to do in between the heat race and the feature, the communication between you and your crew is pretty good then.
For the most part, yes, there's a whole bunch of shouting involved sometimes, but
Okay, okay, okay,
if you ever
okay.
visit and frequent a pit at a racetrack, you'll see that there's quite a lot of shouting.
Oh yes, yes, yes. So Tammy, do you have anything you'd like to say to the kids to help get them in a race car?
Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do it.
Okay.
Follow your dreams. If you want to race, then you race.
Yeah.
You go fast and you turn left. You're the future of racing. And if racing isn't an interest anymore, then the sport dies.
Oh, exactly. That is really good philosophy there. So, do you have anything you want to ask me, Tammy? I'm going to put myself on the spotlight this time, on the hot seat.
I don't know. I don't know. What kind of crazy stuff have you seen out there in interviews and
Oh
going to the
man,
tracks?
oh man, I've seen fights, I've seen accidents, I've seen guys get into fights because somebody spun out in front of them and they think it was their fault, this
Oh
person's
yeah,
fault because they spun out. Oh yeah,
that
I've
that's
seen,
that's
yeah.
an every weekend thing.
Oh yes, it is. I've seen quite a few things. Yeah, yeah, I
I,
have.
I I
Yeah.
have some friends that are just now getting into racing and watching me and supporting me. And I brought them into the pits a couple of times, and I don't think they'd care to return. I think they'd like to watch from the stands.
I've seen my friend Angie, which is a friend of yours, literally get mad at the race car because something went wrong with it. She go up and kick the side of the race car. And I'm like, whoa.
I have done that.
Yeah.
Thank God my car's body is made out of plastic.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
have
yeah.
done that. I have gotten so mad at the car not working, or have gotten mad at somebody in front of me, and rather than go take it out on their head, I beat my car up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've seen a
then,
lot.
then my husband pulls me off to the side and says, "What the heck is wrong with you?"
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh
You
yeah.
made me mad.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot. I have seen a lot in racing, definitely. Um, so Tammy, I want to thank you for being on the racing show with me today, actually talking to us about your racing career. It's just been it's been my pleasure to have you on and talking to you about this because
It's been fun.
yes, it has.
I just, I, I just want the younger generation and the females that are sitting in the stands saying, "I want to drive," that don't think that they can. I want to let them know that they can.
Okay. Yeah, I
That's why
agree with
I'm
you. I agree
doing
with you.
this.
I agree with you.
That's why I'm doing this. Everybody has asked me time and time again, "Why do you race? You're the only one." Well, clear up until this year, I was the only female out there at my local track. There's a few over at State Line that run against me, and I get people, "Why are you doing this?" I can walk through the grandstands during intermission, and I'll hear a female over here in the grandstand saying, "I wish I could do that." And I turn around, I don't even know who she is. I don't, I just look in the general direction of where she's at. And I'm like, buy a car, put a cage in it, be safe, and you can do it. Go.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I'll tell you what, Tammy, I would love to see you come out here and race out here in the Midwest in your mini stock, because I'll tell you what, we have that category out here, but we're called sport compacts out here. And it's we have a track out here. I'll tell you what, you would have a blast at. It's a high banked half mile.
I've been trying to talk my hubby into it.
Okay. Yeah, we
It's
have a
just with him working 70 plus hours a week, and it's a time crunch.
yes. Yes, like I said, we have a high banked half mile out here, and you could go full out around that track, and you wouldn't even have to lift.
Just send it.
Just send it. Yeah.
Just send
Yeah.
it.
Just send it. Yeah. Yeah, and they get going pretty good around there too. And it's yeah.
It sounds fun. It
Yes.
does.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm to the point now where you just can't go fast enough,
Oh yeah.
and I don't know, it's racing is my drug.
Oh yeah.
There's so many more things that I could be doing, something safer,
Yeah.
but if it, like last year, if it wasn't racing my race car, I was riding my horses. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
And we have some big races out here too, Tammy, that would really draw your interest. We have what's called Night of 1,000 Stars and Night of 10,000 Stars at Britt, Iowa, which is a huge money race. And then to back that up a couple weeks later, we have it's called the Casey's General Store IMCA Super Nationals, which is 7 days of racing nonstop on 1.38 mile track. And on
unless you
this
don't qualify for the next day.
you have to go ahead and you go through and qualify. You qualify for the first 6 days. It's if you don't make it in the first day, then you have other opportunities to qualify. And it's just like, yeah, it's just, yeah. And the final night of competition, you make it into that big dance. They line up 25 to 26 cars, 3 wide per class, and drop them green flag 3 wide for 25 to 30 laps.
That's amazing. That's what we usually run, 22 to 25 cars for 20, 25 laps.
Could you imagine starting 3 wide though? That's just the thing.
No, I can't imagine 3 wide. I can't. That's kind of scary. I wouldn't want to be in the
Yeah.
middle. I'd
Oh
want to be on
yeah.
the inside or the outside. There's no way I'd want to be in the middle.
Yeah. And you
My
can make a
favorite
lot.
starting spot is on the outside. I just like it out there, hanging
And
out and let it
the
drive.
crazy thing is this too down there too is if you ever need like parts for your car, a lot of your chassis builders are down there, and you can tell them, hey, how do I set my car up for the track? You know, that type of thing there, and they will tell you how to set your car up for the track. And if you need new rims, boom, they're right there. They have a thing called manufacturer's row.
I have so many parts and rims and tires that I carry with me that
Okay.
I have people come up to me, hey, do you have this? Hey, can I buy this? Hey, do you have this? I have enough parts that if I needed to, I could build another car right there on the spot.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
My
Wow.
husband makes sure that I am very prepared. Like I said, I've got 2 cars sitting in the garage. I've got a parts car sitting in the backyard by the garage.
And the thing is Tammy, with this big race, the 6 to 7 day race that they have down there, they don't have 100 cars. They have 1,000 to 2,000 race cars for 7 days, covering all
Yeah,
6 classes of cars.
that
Six
would
is,
be in a whole new class of its own because I run the SDDRA East, I
yeah.
think it is up here, Northeast. And last year, I was a sanctioned driver and was too nervous and got inside my own head and then didn't think I was good enough to run with them.
Yeah.
And they came to my local track and my husband didn't really give me a choice. He's like,
Yeah.
you're running it. So I want to say 68 SCDRA cars came to that race that night. And we all had to do our qualifying session, of course, before the heat races started. I was the only female that showed up for that race. Out
Wow.
of 68 cars, I qualified 18th.
Wow. Wow.
4th or 5th overall for the local drivers.
Wow. That's pretty good. That is actually pretty good. That is
I was
pretty
honking.
good. Oh,
I
yes.
was honking.
Yes. But I want to thank you again, Tammy, for being on the racing show with me today, talking to us about your racing career. I will call you in a little bit to thank you in person. And then I want to schedule you to come back on my racing show for the midpoint of your racing season to kind of give us an update as to what's going on, if you'd be down for that.
I'm all right with that. Just
Okay.
don't be upset with me if the gremlins took over.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem. I promise I won't be upset with you. So we're good
Usually
there.
mid-season, I get gremlins that decide to like crawl all over me and just nothing goes right.
Yeah, okay. Okay. But thank you again, Tammy. I'll let you step out and then I'll give a little racing news update and I will call you in just a little bit.
All righty. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Leaving meeting.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tammy Watson, driver of the class that she runs out there in New York, in Pennsylvania. So, good luck to Tammy this season. Also, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little racing news update here for you. Scott Dixon captured the Indianapolis 500 pole yesterday in the IndyCar series, running a top speed, a 4-lap average, I should say, of, let me pull up the picture here I have of this here thing. Scott Dixon had a 4-lap average of, boom. His 4-lap average was 234.046 miles an hour. He had the fastest 4-lap average pole speed in the Indianapolis 500 history. So that's pretty huge right there. So good luck to Scott Dixon in the Indianapolis 500 this next weekend. Also good luck to Jimmy Johnson and Colton Herta and everybody running that race. It's going to be quite interesting to see what they're averaging for speeds during the race. Also, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Ryan Blaney for winning the NASCAR All-Star race yesterday. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty awesome to get everybody's racing season underway and ready and going full throttle. And congratulations to Chris Nolan for picking up a 3rd place over the weekend in his micro sprint feature. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you go. I will talk to you later on another episode of the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on YouTube. With that being said, you have a good day and enjoy your race week.